Alyssa Mercante is off of Twitter/X, but back on Blue Sky to do the same thing she was doing on Twitter, which makes you wonder why she left X in the first place. But regardless of that, she posted something today that was shared with me privately that made me question basically everything. And this tweet, or whatever you call it on Blue Sky, really gives insight to my struggle that I've been dealing with this creature for the better part of the last 12 months or so. Alyssa Mercante said, other lies that are weird or incongruous with each other and varying degrees of damaging, which is a very weird way of saying people are making these lies up about me. Number one, I have STDs. Okay, who cares? Two, I was a prostitute. I saw that one. I was like, oh, I know what she's doing right now. She's kind of like trying to stuff in the thing that she's suing me for in the midst of a whole bunch of other random shit that doesn't mean anything. My parents don't love me. My parents give me, like, these are weak things after that. So she was just trying to, this is her just trying to push her suit forward to be like, yeah, this is one of those lies. And I'm like, okay, I guess if Alyssa is opening this book again, I am going to have to close the book again on it and show everyone exactly why I claim that the things she does were very not womanly in the modern era, I guess you could say, is a nice way of putting it. She also said 5, I don't play video games. Honey, Dress to Impress and Fortnite does not count as playing video games. I don't know what to tell you. Marvel Rivals? No, these are not video games. These are pop culture. Let me get on the latest thing of whatever. These are not video games. That is not video games. That's like saying my wife is a gamer because she plays fucking Bejeweled in phase 3 or whatever. Like, no, she's not. And number 6, I'm 40. You call me a 50-year-old man. Multiple times I've seen you say a 50-year-old man. You always say that about me. I'm like 43. I think I turned 44 in 23 days. So happy birthday to me early. But I'm not even 44 yet. And her ilk were calling me 50. So very strange, very strange. So I took to X with this and I said, Alyssa Mercante is now doubling down on the I was a prostitute was a lie for obvious reasons, as that is the foundation of her LOL suit against me. This woman is a pathological liar saying words to change a narrative. The proof is right here. Her tactics don't work anymore. So there's a screenshot, started this out with. So she says, other lies too. I was a prostitute. So what is a prostitute exactly? According to the dictionary, a person, in particular a woman, who engages in sexual activity for payment. Okay, fair. Let's see. From Alyssa's own words, Alyssa Mercante, I used to write a sex blog, and I was in a Boston bar looking for content. By the way, looking for content. Sure sounds like this is your job to get paid for. Interesting. Talking to an Olympic swimmer. A Shakira song was playing and her music video was on the TVs in the bar. Unprompted, he went, she's kind of fat. So I decided to sleep with him because I knew it would be bad. It was. I eviscerated him in a post. Everyone got a pseudonym. And he messaged me for weeks after, begging me to take it down and asking if I really did hear him farting all night. I did. Good to know, Alyssa, that you will not take a post down when someone asks you to, when you ask me to take a retweet down because you were offended by it. But again, the rules for thee, not for me, is kind of a running gag with her. Alyssa Mercante, in response to, how did you get into the video game industry? I sucked dick. I mean, I think it's pretty rational to look at the situation as someone's getting paid for sexual favors if you say that.
I am smart, hot, slutty. I am smart.
So we also have that from her own mouth telling people that she is slutty. And I said, let's not forget, she refers to herself as slutty when on the infamous giant bomb couch. And we also have this clip from her conversation with David Jaffe, which might be the most incriminating one of all.
What I did, because I did briefly do cam work, just like digitally stripping. What I did, because I did briefly do cam work, just like digitally stripping.
I said, perhaps the most damning admission of all, stating that she did in fact do digital stripping, which according to ChatGPT and anyone with an actual brain, digital stripping as a cam girl is a form of prostitution. This is me asking ChatGPT, could digital stripping be considered a form of prostitution? Yes, if the prostitution is defined broadly as exchanging sexual services for money, then digital stripping could be seen as a non-contact form of prostitution. Weird. Almost like her words are meaningless in the face of facts. Maybe that would explain why she doesn't want people to talk about facts and wants to try to change reality. Curious. And I said, and here she is even more, plenty of times, self-admitting that she is in fact a prostitute. Quite proudly, I might add. Maybe she bumped her head and forgot she said all this in the past. You know, the very thing she's currently suing me for. She says, on God, if I ever get fired, I am going back to bartending and sex work. F this industry. This was in 2023 before I even knew who this person was. Sounds like she had a hatred for gaming and the game industry all the way back then already. It's very curious, almost like she was looking for a reason to get mad at the industry and a scapegoat to blame it on. And she found Kiwi Farms and she realized that that was too hard to take on. So then she found me. Very curious. She continues, Happy International Whores Day. I used to be a cam girl. Sex work is work. This is her admitting to doing sex work. I mean, that's the way I read it. Very curious. She says, I'm just going to go back to sex work because at least then when I get effed a lot, I'll get paid well for it. Again, these are all Alyssa's words. This is me commentating on the things that she herself has said. Now, in the very lawsuit that I'm dealing with right now, her lawyers are trying to say, oh, you didn't know about all those things before. You're just finding out about it afterwards. So those didn't impact your decision of saying it, which I would say, one, you don't know that. And two, even if that was the case, that doesn't change the fact that she is, according to her, a prostitute, which I personally would consider quite whorish to do. Again, I feel like we're splitting hairs on the names for things, but I guess dads out there, tell your daughters, don't act like this in life, and people won't talk about you like this and life. And then this one as well, like I already covered. And I said, after initially exposing her to the gaming community for being an absolute trash, quote unquote, journalist, Alyssa Mercante has since stalked my family, DM'd my wife, saying awful things about me, doxed my address where my wife and children live, cheered on my website being taken down, attempted to get me banned from conventions, and celebrated attempts at getting me deplatformed, among many other things. She's been nothing but awful to everything good in my world, and then has the audacity to sue me. The levels of projection with this one are off the charts. I could go on, but the point is beyond well played out and who we are dealing with here. An absolute pathological lying narcissist that will stop at nothing to silence opposition to her agenda. Kind of scary, actually, not going to lie. And there's a screenshot of her telling the world that she found my wife's Facebook and DM'd her. This is the DM that she sent to my wife. not going to read through all this again. I've already read this before, but feel free to freeze the screen and read through it yourself at just how unhinged this person really is. And then the second part of it, because it's a very long message, she said, I can't speak to the nature of your relationship or what kind of father he is, but I certainly wouldn't want my partner harassing women online over video games and platforming the people that are threatening to kill them. It seems like something he shouldn't be so invested in at this age. Which again, there she goes with the fucking age thing again. This is the same person that's saying that she's being called 40 years old. And she's always focusing on how old I am. It's very strange. Again, more projection. This is her making a custom t-shirt to try to troll me or hold it over me that she contacted and DM'd my wife, which is fucking unhinged, but again, on brand with who we're dealing with here. And I said, anyways, Alyssa, yes, you, based on all the evidence you have provided, are indeed someone who displays the traits of being a whore. In fact, I'd go a lot further in how vile of a scumbag, subhuman, coke-addicted POS you really are, but nah, you just cry victim and try to add that to the lawsuit. People are allowed to have opinions on others based on how they present themselves in the public sphere. Now you want to take me to court to prove being a whore to the whole world? Man, that is wild. You really are highly regarded. This is a picture of her wearing a See You Next Tuesday pin at a official Game Awards event, which I could argue is so disrespectful to an event that it's actually embarrassing that she got invited in the first place. Now, I understand gamers are counterculture, but there are lines you still kind of try to stay within. This is one of those where I'm like, if she showed up like that, I'd be like, yeah, she ain't getting invited back here ever. That's insane to do that. This is her, 2018, depressed, going through a divorce, barely eating, no exercise, coked out body. 2023, happy, engaged, eating, lifting, special occasion coke body. Her admitting that she either likes Coca-Cola a lot, or I would presume is talking about actual cocaine. This is her just being very slutty, whorish, as you could probably imagine, and obviously censored out for obvious reasons. And I should have given a jump scare to you guys for that. But I ended this with saying, at the very end of all of it, I said, a huge thank you to everyone who has already contributed, already well past $70,000. But unfortunately, this may not be enough. And by the way, I do have an update to the lawsuit that I just found out about a few hours ago. And it's something that I cannot speak to right now as far as details of it. But I can guarantee you guys that it is going to jack the prices up higher than I thought it was going to be. We will just leave it at that currently. And I will speak to it as soon as I'm given the green light to do so. But I still am waiting to speak to my lawyer, Ron Coleman, to make sure I understand what is happening right now. And it's not necessarily bad, by the way, but it is something that is going to cost money. I guess we'll say that. Anyone interested fighting back against Alyssa Mercante's lawsuit, please consider donating to my Give, Send, Go defense fund. And ever since I posted this, I had multiple people donating today to this. So if you are watching this, thank you guys. Like, genuinely, thank you so much. And anyone that already has donated or potentially will donate or will donate again, I cannot thank you enough, because I've said this before. I could not do this alone. This would destroy me financially. This would destroy my entire family. So with your help, I'm able to fight back with a great lawyer and feel very confident with what's happening right now. But I will say, and I've said this before too, I feel terrible because this is a gigantic fucking waste of lots of money. I would much rather people keep their money. I'd much rather this lawsuit bullshit not be happening in the first place. I blame Alyssa for throwing this on me, and I'm very hopeful that the court will see it that way as well. But the court of public opinion is very different than real courts, so I guess we'll have to wait to see what they say about that. But yeah, just to want to take this time right now to clarify that yes, indeed, this this I was a prostitute thing, this is who we're dealing with. After we go through the history of who she actually is, you can pretty much look at everything else she says here. It's like, well, if you're lying about that, that throws everything else into question as well. Why should anyone believe anything you say? Like, genuinely, not trying to be a dick, just like this is how it works. This is how people function in society. Sergeant Sapient for the 5-banger says, I would disagree, Smash. Those are games, but she's not a gamer. She's not part of the culture. She's at best a tourist. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Maybe I just didn't say it the right way. She's playing all the pop culture popular games. Like, people call me casual. Like, fuck, I'm not casual. I am a casual enjoyer of gamer games, but like, this is a casual like gamer who just casually plays what's popular. Roblox, Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, like that's you gotta play Call of Duty too. You gotta throw Madden in there as well. Like, again, people are welcome to play what they want to play, but I think it speaks volumes to the type of person you are with the games that you're playing. When you call yourself, oh, I'm a gamer, I would cast out on that. That is at best a tourist. I'd agree. G Gay Master for the 5-banger. Everyone, what do you think Alyssa's parents feel about her sex life? I mean, she's been very open about it, so I'd imagine they know about it. And if they know about it and they're fine with it, I mean, she's a grown-ass adult at this point. So maybe their perspective is she's welcome to do whatever the hell she wants to do. I just know if that was my daughter, I would be like, where the fuck did I go wrong as a dad? I would be seriously questioning my parenting skills. And I would be doing a lot of introspection, a lot.